Ratazan. I think I said it right, Ratazan. You know what I mean? If not, you know what it is. Listen, so we're going to talk about this thing tonight about being black. What is it when you say, I'm black? I'm telling you, whether you are a part of the Moorish Science Temple of America or not, it's imperative that you share this show and look at this show. If I'm telling you, family, I'm not saying things to be condescending. I'm not saying things to put people, throw them under the bus. I'm going to express some facts. So with that, family, I hope y'all got y'all t-shirt. The t-shirt that I'm wearing is only $12.99. And the finances made from this shirt goes towards to building the Moorish village. They're only going to be available until the 12th. Yeah, I did side promotion because I don't come here to sell you nothing. I really come here to try to get you not to sell your soul. So I ain't here to sell you nothing. So I'm not a good salesman when it comes to t-shirts and books and all that stuff. But I am coming up with a website where you will be able to go and get stuff where I just direct you to the website, themoorishworld.com, coming soon. The link is right here in the chat. Also, the link to this shirt, to order the shirt, is also in the description section. Also in the description section. These shirts, I mean quality shirts. Man, I wish I could get you to feel through the screen. They quality shirts. I'm telling you, it is what it is. They're good shirts, I'm trying to tell you. But anyway, we gonna get my salute to my man Wolf. Hey Wolf, you supposed to be calling me. Hold up. Sidebar, family. We got 300 gangsters in the building. We got 300 gangsters in the building. My big brother Wolf. What up, Wolf? Now, let me have a talk with Wolf real quick. Now, Wolf, last time I talked to you, we was in the hood, right? I need to talk to Wolf over here on Facebook real quick. Last time we was in the hood, right? I'm driving, doing my work. You know, man, I ain't bothering nobody. I go around the way. I pass around this street, right? Deep in the hood. The first time I see him, I said, man, let me just circle the block on him. You know what I mean? I circled the block. I hesitate. I said, man, should I run up on him and play, or should I just let my presence be known? I had to let my presence be known. Because, you know what I mean? There's 300 gangsters. You can't run up on 300 gangsters playing, so I just let my presence be known. But then the last time I seen you, Big Wolf, I'm talking to Wolf now. Give me 1 second. Last time you say, brother, I'm going to be calling you because we got something going on. I hope it ain't happened already and you ain't letting me know. That's all I got to say about that. You got my number, brother. You know, whenever it happens, whenever they give you what they're supposed to give you the respect that's due to 300 gangsters. And shout out to my man. Shout out to my main man. That's right. That's Big Wolf right hand man, Sonny Red. That's my man. But I'm just saying, listen, family, listen. We got a lot of things going on. I'm telling you, I'm going everywhere. When Wolf go and get this award, right? He post, 300 gangsters, they do a lot in the hood. So they supposed to be honored for this stuff that they do in the hood. I'm going to actually live stream this demonstration. You know what I mean? I'm actually live stream this demonstration, so y'all can see that those who live the life of maybe chopping down life, now they uplifting and building life, and they still carry the brand of gangsters. But that don't mean that they doing the things that they used to. They ain't no killers, but don't push them. That's all I got to say about that. Shout out to 300 gangsters. And my man PFK Boom, 300 gangsters, PFK Boom, they doing big things. I can't wait till I get freed up. Every time Wolf see me, he'll tell you I'm dirty because I'm leaving, working on the Moorish village. I'm dirty, hands dirty like ODB. But I got lost for a second. Anyway, fam, listen. Tonight's show is talking about the science of being black. The science of being black. This is something that I believe everybody should tune into just to get some understanding where the Moorish American is coming from. You know what I mean? Where the Moorish American coming from with this rhetoric, if you want to call it that. You know what I mean? If you want to call it that, Hey, call it what you want. I'm trying to be your friend. You feel me? 300 gangsters. I'm trying to be your friend, man. Don't go hard with me. You know what I mean? Meet me halfway. Hey, I wanna be your friend. Peace and love. Let me be your Come on over here to Facebook, man. I said you ain't never met a more like me, and you ain't never ever gonna meet one again. Down no more. It's just slow mo. Down no more. It's just slow mo. Down no more. It's just slow mo. Down no more. Say just slow mo. They just slow mo. Let me get a couple thumbs up in the building. I got almost 60 people in the building already. We got 20 thumbs up. The numbers ain't adding up. They slow mo. Don't be slow for the mo. New Black Knowledge. Let them know, brother. We family. Sci-fi in the building. We family over here. Show some love to the family. Now let me give you a public service announcement. Every time you put a thumbs up make the video rotate, make people get the knowledge that we want people to get. So get a thumbs up so that people can get the knowledge that we want them to get. We just want to explain what the being black means. We don't mean that black means disrespectful. We don't mean to be disrespectful. We just want you to get the message. So everybody gives a thumbs up, and we're going to take the show to the next level. Let's get it. See, I be coming at these wars, and it's very simple. Why I be coming at these wars? Because I don't consider these functional Moorish American Muslims. And it relates to the teachings of the Holy Prophet Noble Ali, the founder of the Moorish Temple of America. Some names from across the border, you and your daughters. I mean your little followers, you all out of order. I ain't taking nothing from you crooks. Cujo talks severe, I got them all shook. I wish Cujo would step up to get his rep up and get head up from the neck up. You gon' respect us. An elder once told me, meet the people where they at, and you lower than the worm, so you know you meet the tech. Let's keep it simple, more. I'm a temple more. Either you wanna talk knowledge or you wanna go to war. Cujo, I will drag you by your dreads till you beg. Detach your arm, leg, arm, head. Boy, you don't want these problems. I know the little well. The policy enforcers be the same ones you go tell. They're gon' call them little names. Get on YouTube and say a little game talk tough like you bout that. And I'ma forget how far I came. I never forgot my aim. I never forgot my ammo. I pray to Allah, but I still tie my camel. Let's talk about this knowledge that you think you have. Matter of fact, forget it, boy. Don't make me laugh. Down no more. Y'all ready? It's just slow mo. Down no more. Islam. Welcome to another edition of Moorish World TV. I am your brother. I am your host. I am your friend. I am the one that is going to bring you the information that you're not going to get anywhere else. It is what it is. Family, this show, shout out to Black Ice TV. Shout out to my main man, Brother Richie. But I'm going to give you some information that you won't get it nowhere else. And I ain't ashamed to say. See, I'm a different type of Moorish American. I'm going to give it to you raw, and I'm going to give it to you in a language in which you can understand. I'm going to give it to you in a language in which you can understand. But before I do that, let me rise. Let me rise. And we're in the Moorish Temple of America. We say, listen, let's rise. Let's raise our thoughts and give praise to the great God of the universal law and give honor to the Prophet Noble Ali. Because what I'm about to tell you tonight is a direct result of what I've learned, studied, examined, and tested from the sheep bag of Prophet Noble Ali. Real talk. Y'all might hear all this madness on the internet about the Moors enslaved somebody. Come talk to your brother Ta'aka Bey, and I'm going to give you the real history. You might hear that the Moors want some European women because of some fictitious propaganda oil paintings from the 1800s. Come talk to your brother Ta'aka Bey. You might hear that the Moors don't like black people, quote unquote. Come talk to your brother Ta'aka Bey. Now, as you can see in the title, I got Black Power, family, and it's in quotations. Because what I'm doing is I'm quoting my brother and my friend, Saneter. Because Saneter seems to, and I'm telling you, Saneter, I done already warned you, every single time you say something about the Moors, I am going to use it as an educating moment. So I'm telling you now, I'm going to tell you one more time. Every single time that you, Saneter, make a video about the Moors, every time I see a video where you asking somebody about the Moors in the negative sense, I will be making a video at some point in time to respond to it. And so this is a response to one of them videos, and also the challenge where the brother said, why would I say black power? You don't say black power back. And I say, brother, my greeting is the highest form of greeting. When you say black power and you ask everybody within the black power paradigm, what does it mean when you say black power? If you ask 100, 100 out of 100 will have a different interpretation of what it means. But when you ask some more, you can say that the Moors are divided. You can say what you want. But if you ask one more from the shores of the Pacifics to the shores of the Atlantic, if you ask them what Islam means, they're going to tell you. It means peace. It means peace. And so I'm giving you and all of my people the highest form of greeting, the greetings of the prophets. Jesus said, peace be with you. Muslim said, peace be unto you. Moore says, peace. Islam. So I'm gonna give you the highest form. So when we start talking about a greeting can divide us, we already been divided. We've already been divided in the mind. When you say, why don't you say black power? I say Islam. Well, Islam means peace. You should be saying Islam if you're about peace, you know. And in actuality, in the true sense, black power is actually a statement. It's not a greeting. You want to change it into a greeting to suit your purpose, but it's a statement. It was a statement that was made by people who actually started the school lunch program, the breakfast program. It was actually started by people that was on the streets with automatic weapons to make sure that their communities was protected. It was started by a group of college-educated brothers and sisters that was on a mission to make sure that the rights of the people that did not know wasn't violated. So if you're doing that, then I get you what you're saying, but it's still a statement. But now the question becomes, let's get right into it, family, because I'm about to break it down. I'm about to break it down. That's right, inspired by my brother and friend, Saneter. That's right. So now my question becomes to the family. Family, what is black power the answer to white power? And I got white power as being white supremacy. What is the answer to white supremacy? Is black power the answer to white supremacy? And if so, define black power. You know, define it. We need a definition of what it is, what it encompasses. Who's the leader? Who's the person that I go talk to? Matter of fact, and I'm not, listen, I'm not being condescending. I'm being real. I'm being real. Who is the person that I go to talk to so I can address my concerns with black power? Who do I talk to? Who is the head? Where's the central location? I need to know who I can talk to so we can come together. I want to unite, but I need to talk to the boss. You got to take me to the boss. I don't want to talk to the worker. You know, I don't want to talk to the worker. I need to talk to the boss so the Moors and the head of the Black Power movement can unite. Can somebody tell me in the chat, where's the boss? Where's the boss? Anybody know? Sci-fi, can you tell me where the boss is? See, that is an ambiguous statement at best. You know what I mean? That is an ambiguous statement. What is, see, we should be grown up now. See, in the 60s, we was babies in the development of consciousness. We should be grown up now. By now, we should be grown up and understand that black power is an ambiguous term that really doesn't define the mission or the goal that we try to achieve. It doesn't define the goal. Where are we trying to go with this black power? Who's the president? Who's the main man? I need to know who I'm talking to. Yeah, I know we don't like this, but let me tell you something. This that old tussin that grandma used to give you. You ain't like that tussin. It's hard to swallow the tussin. But hey, you have to take this tussin. You're going to have to take this tussin. So, I didn't see nobody in the chat tell me who is the leader of this black power. You got the black power cartel. Said it. He ain't leading nobody nowhere. He gonna lead you to a lecture for $29.99 on Everbright. I think that's what it's called. You got my brother Saneter. He gonna make a few videos for you and scream Black Power family. But what exactly is this movement? What exactly is this conscious movement? Where is it going? What's the goal? Y'all get my point, I think. So let's go back to the screen share. Is black power the answer to white power? That is the question. And absolutely, we know that that is not. We know that that is not. We know in this era of time, we should be conscious enough to know that black power, white power, is a form of distraction. That black power, white power is a form of distraction. White supremacy is a form of maintaining domination over Asiatic people. However, black power is a form of distraction. Why? Because it's not defined. It's not defined, nor is it organized. Therefore, it can never be the solution for our people at this time. But you say, I am black. I'm black. My people black. I'm black. That's what you say. Those who say that. And then you might even go to people like this, our people, the jarawas. You might go see people like this and say, but they are black. Yeah, you might say that. You might go to our people, the jarawas, like that and say, well, they are black and I'm black. What would tell you the distinctive difference? Notice I got a name for these people right here. They have a name. They're not ambiguously called black people. They are the Jawas. All right? You can say they skin black all day. I don't even mind if you say that, but let me tell you something. One thing that you need to know is that regardless of how you describe them, you are describing an adjective, not a noun. A noun is a person, place, or thing. And if I'm not mistaken, an adjective describes the noun. So you are being descriptive. And so if that's what your eyes see, that's fine. But that is not the noun. That is fine. That is not the noun. But let me tell you who these people are. Regions of significant population west side of Andaman and the middle Andaman Islands, India. They are from India, an island. So, ethnic groups of the indigenous Andamanese, you see that? There is the nationality of the people. Right there. There it is. There it is. These are not even black people. You see, These are not even black people. No matter what description you want to place upon them, these are Anamanisi. If I'm right, if I'm good, I'm good. If I'm wrong, correct me. And the Jarawas, also Jarawa or Jawa, pronounced, are an indigenous people of the Andaman Islands in India. There is the nationality of the people. Here they go again. The Jawas are recognized as an Adivasi group of people. Along with other indigenous Andamanese people, they have inhabited the islands for at least several thousands of years, and most likely a great deal longer. The Andaman Islands have been known to outsiders since antiquity. However, until quite recent time, they were frequently resident. Such contact were predominantly sporadic and temporary for the greater portion of history. Their only significant contact has been with other Adamanisi groups through many decades, and contact to the tribe has diminished quite significantly. However, these are not black people. Say it with me one time, family. These are not black people. These are, and I could be butchering that name, but you get my point. These are the people right here. You follow me? You can't make this stuff up. You can't make this stuff up. I don't care what shade of skin that you may see them and describe them. That's not who they are. What I just highlighted is who they are. And none of y'all, majority of y'all in America, don't look like this, even descriptively. Even descriptively, y'all don't look like this. So, here we go again. I'm going to pass this one, but here's where they reside. This is the island. You know what I mean? This is the island right there. It's where they reside. And that island has a name. And according to the name of the island is the description of the people. We allow Europeans to put us all in to lump us all in the same block. So, for instance, let me share again. So, for instance, what we do is this. After the European has lumped us into the same pot, right? This what we do. This is what we do. Let me see if I can get it real quick. After the European lump us in the same pot, what we do is this. We say, for example, we say right here that these are black people. Mind you, I just took you over here to some islands right here in the water, you see. But we quick to say that this continent right here that we call Africa today is black people. But how about the people of the continent? They call themselves by the name of the regional or geographical location. So if an Algerian, somebody from Algeria, comes to America, he don't call himself African American or Black American. He's Algerian. Why? He look like you. He can speak English once he learned it like you. Why? If he comes from Niger, if he comes from Nigeria, y'all know that them cab drivers, they ain't calling themselves black. You ask them, who are you? What are you? I'm Nigerian. I'm Nigerian. Why? Because you can't label a whole globe of people black. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't distinctively describe a history significantly of who you are, where your forefathers come from. Because listen, there was a time when Ethiopia was independent of Europeans, and they got a vast history, a great history, and their children learns that history. And when the children learn that history, they learn that greatness. So boom, they migrate, and then they move over to which we see as the South Sudan. And now the South Sudan has a great history, whatever the name was before the European came. And then they migrate to Central African Republic. They have a great history. They can't say all of these are black people due to the fact in the ambiguous term, you are confusing history of the people in their greatness. You follow me? You are confusing history and people in their greatness. So we need a unique history. We need a unique history, no different when these Europeans want to teach the greatness to their children. They say, you are from Poland. You are from Poland. You're Polish. And let me tell you about your history. You're from Germany. Let me tell you about your history. You're from France. Let me tell you about your history. And they begin to know their greatness. But the minute that we don't know ours because we think we don't know ours because of slavery, we begin to accept the term black. And the black thing straight across the border, it confuses everybody. And we never find our way back to our greatness. But let's turn the globe around for a second. There is no doubt or contradiction that all of majority, I ain't going to say all, that majority of the slaves came from the region, what today is known from the tip of Morocco all the way down towards Nigeria, and even further than that. But the mass majority of the slaves came from northwest, southwestern shores of Africa. Now, people that's of indigenous persuasion don't get tripped up, because the Prophet Noble Drew Ali teaches us that when this puzzle was put together, these are the same people. The Brazilians over here was the same people as the people of Angola. That the Brazilians over here was the same people of Botswana. You know, don't get it twisted. When the prophet came to the Moors, he said this was all one at one time. And so the people of Philadelphia, the people of South Carolina, of Georgia, they was the same people of Morocco. They was the same people of Mauritania. You feel me? They was the same people of Mauritania. And so we got a comment in the comment section. He said, so who are we, brother? Whether we choose to accept it or not, whether we choose to accept it or not, the Moroccan Empire was the last stronghold of the Africans people. The Moroccan Empire extended from northeast over here in Egypt to northwest across the Great Atlantis to north, south, and Central America. This was our people then. We have allowed somebody to tell us that we are black people, and now we can't find our way. The last stronghold of the African people and the last stronghold of the indigenous people was the Moroccan Empire. It was a relationship, an unbreakable relationship. And so, the science of being black. First of all, let's talk about what it is to be black. First of all, black is not a term that describes where you're from, who your people are. It does not do that for you. Therefore, when it doesn't do that, when it doesn't describe who you are and where your people come from, what it does is it cancels out your greatness. It cancels out your greatness. Listen, when you go to an African American festival, ask yourself, what is the culture of that festival? You got mac and cheese, you got some fried chicken, you got some dashikis, and you got everybody all over the place. Everybody separated by thought, because there is no central location to identify who the black people are. It's an ambiguous term at best. So because the Moroccan Empire was the last stronghold, we say that everybody, let me stop, that majority of people that was plucked for slavery on these shores was of Moorish descent, indigenous Moorish descent, We're saying that those that was plucked for slavery on the African shore was descendant of Moorish people. No one can argue that. No one can argue that. The only thing that people can argue is the name. Like, the tribal names. But the bloodline, the Moroccan Empire dominated. When you look at these stories about pirates, these was Moors controlling the seas. When the European thought the earth was flat, they thought when they went out, they'd fall off the end. Well, the ones that went out there never came back, so they couldn't tell the story. What happened was the boats went out and they never came back, and they thought they fell off. But what actually happened, they was taken captive by Moors. They was put into slavery. And so they never made it back to Spain. They never made it back to their destination of which they left. And so those who financed the voyages just figured, well, the world is flat. They're falling off because they're never coming back. No, the Moors was masters of the seas. And this is how the Moroccan Empire spread. The Moroccan Empire spread because we was masters of the seas. And not only was we masters of the seas, we just was master navigators. In short, this is why all up through Europe, you'll see the color guard of Moors, or the arm guard, the color arm guard of Moors. If I'm getting that right. But let's get back to it. So family, here we go. When we look at people want to be black so bad, right? This is a sister right here, Cordelia Diop. She's a model. But the question becomes, is she black? Now, you might look at her descriptively and say, yeah, that sister black. But what are you describing? You're not you're using an adjective. Understand the language. You're using an adjective. But what actually is this sister? This sister is this. Sinhalese. She's not black. This is her nationality. Right here. She's not black. Why is that so important? Why is that so important? Because black says nothing about her. It might give a descriptive of her hair or what you see as her skin tone, but it gives her no history. And let me say it one more time. Most of y'all that try to perpetrate with this term is nowhere near the complexion of this sister. But the question remains, what is this sister? Is she black? That's a descriptive term. It says nothing about her ancestors. Sinhalese say everything about her ancestors. Says everything about her. There's a history in this word. There's a history in this word. You feel me? There's a long history in this word. There's a bit of greatness in this word before the Europeans came. You might look at the brother right here and say, well, no, hold up, brother Tahaka. Here we go right here. I got you. This brother is surely black. And I would say to you, no, he's Sudanese. He's Sudanese. You cannot get away from facts. You can describe this brother black all day long if you want to, but in actuality, his greatness resides in Sudanese. You see, that's where his greatness lies. So if his greatness lies in Sudanese, where do yours lie? Where do yours lie? Again, you might say this. Oh man, no sisters black. No, these are Sudanese. They from the Sudan. They have a greatness about them. So, what is this thing about us being black? Well, the thing about us being black is very simple. It's very simple. As long as the science of being black, family, as long as someone can have you doing some ambiguous jump rope. That's what it is. Ambiguous jump rope that you can say and be comfortable with. That you can say and be comfortable with. That everybody has dark olive skin, no matter where you're from around the globe, no matter where your forefathers are from around the globe, whether you are indigenous to the Americas, whether you are forefathers came over on a ship, if they can have you to believe that you are black, you can never find your way back to your greatness. It's impossible for you to find your way back to your greatness because black does not give you a history. Black history is just that. Black history starts right here, probably down in the South somewhere. That's where black history starts. Your history starts before time even starts. So let's get with the science of black. So what is the uniqueness of black? What is the uniqueness of black? Let's talk about the uniqueness of black. First of all, black is definitely not a nationality. Everybody have to admit to this. Black is not a nationality. Can I get an amen? That's first and foremost. Black is not a nationality. And what is a nationality? What exactly is a nationality? Why are we talking about nationality? Why is it so important? The reason why nationality is so important, because as I showed you right here, every one of these places that you see in Africa is a designated nationality. Every single one of them. You are the only people on the face of the earth that don't have a designated nationality. Those who call themselves black. Everybody around the globe, the Ukraine, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Afghanistan, India, Thailand, the Philippines, you feel me? United States, Canada, all the way around the globe. You are the only people on the face of the earth that does not have a designated nationality. You are black people. And then when you say African American, why don't somebody from South Sudan call themselves African American? Why don't somebody from Niger call themselves African American? Why? Because African is not a nationality. Africa is a continent. So the point of the matter is, when are we going to wake up to understand that the cohesiveness of unity lies in us identifying ourselves according to the principle of nationality and the origin of our ancient forefathers? When will we wake up to this? And there is none that came before the Prophet Noble Drew Ali organizing on this measure. There was none. You can hear people say, oh, such and such talked about nationality. Oh, such and such spoke about nationality. But who organized around nationality? Who organized around nationality? Only one organized around nationality for our people, and his name is Prophet Noble Drew Ali. You don't have to like him, but you should respect him, because out of that respect, it might open your eyes to see your history. Before Morocco was dominated by the French or the European Spaniards, before the Mauritania was dominated by the French, before Mali was split up, before Guinea was split up, before Ghana was split up, before Nigeria was split up. Maybe you get to see your greatness. Maybe you get to see how great Benin was. When you look at a copper penny and you know that in Benin, they was masters of smelting copper. Maybe you'll wake up to understand the greatness of Namibia, Botswana, Angola. Maybe. I don't know. But your greatness lies. Your greatness lies in your history. Maybe you'll be great. Maybe you'll understand that these tribes here, that they didn't live in a nation state. That the ones that you call the Yamasees, the ones that you call the Blackfoot, the ones that you call the indigenous tribes of America, maybe you'll come to understand that they did not live in a nation state, but they were of more bloodline, Moorish bloodline. Why you know that? Because this goes together like a puzzle. These are the same people from one shore to the other. The same palm trees in Morocco are the same palm trees in Florida. The same palm trees in Venezuela and Brazil are the same ones in Angola, the same ones in Liberia. You follow what I'm saying? So we need to wake up to this because the unity lies in the cohesion. One of the cohesions of Libya people, of the people of Libya, is that they have a common ancestry that they agree to and that they move on. But the thing is that they allowed divide and conquer to come in. So we know what happened to Muammar Gaddafi. So when our people, like Saneter, start talking about this crazy thing about you don't say black power, so we not united, that's the same divide and conquer right there. That's it. I'm not begging you to say Islam. I'm not begging you to call yourself Moorish. I'm saying peep the knowledge, do the science. That before anybody was talking about awakening our people on this side of the water, there was a prophet, Noble Drew Ali, speaking the language in which I'm speaking to you today. There was a prophet, Noble Drew Ali. But now the problem is that people see the fez, and because some European then stole the fez, put the fez on his head and claimed the fez, we think that the European is the owner of the fez. We look at the fez because the European has manipulated us. Just like when you see a dark olive sister whom you want to call black, you say, oh man, she black. The first thing you get mad, you're black B, because the European has allowed our mind to accept. He has tricked our mind to accept that the most purest form of a human being is ugly. So the same thing he did with the feds. If he can do that with the purest form of a human being, you go to any public school today, any public school, and catch unconscious children arguing. And if the sister is dark olive, as they would say black, the first thing somebody say when they get angry is you're black B. That's what they're going to say. Why do they do that? Because the European has transformed the minds of our people. And so the same thing that you do when you see a fez, you think it's a European headdress. This is a divine, man, this headdress right here, this headdress right here, this is royalty. That's why the European wears it, because he wants to be us. You don't think Eminem wants to be Nas? Of course Eminem wants to be Nas. That's why, but you don't think Eminem wanted to be Rakim, calling himself the god of rap? Then we call Rakim the god MC? Huh? Why would Eminem come out with something, say he the god of rap god? That's what he called it, rap god. He wants to be us. Rakim is the god MC. But now we got a European calling himself the rap god. You see how it works? It's nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. And we got so much bamboozled people in our group that we would go with that. Yeah, Eminem is the rap god. What? What are you talking about? You can't be serious. Yeah, he's the rap god. What? Because he rap about popping pills, killing his mother, killing his people. Huh? Killing his baby mother. That's the rap god? And then we got Rakim thinking of a master plan. Thinking of a master plan. Ain't nothing but sweat inside my hand. He ain't the God MC no more. Man, the European has done a fascinating job of switcheroo. And so, that's why he wants you to feed into the ideology that you are black. Because there is no definitive history in being black. There is none. Huh? There is no definitive history in being black. Period, point blank. So, nationality traces you to a history as related to your ancestry. Nationality puts you in a capsule of time of days of old, and it makes you relevant in this day and time, this new era of time of nation states. Nationality is a legal relationship between an individual person and a state. Family, unfortunately, the Moors of today do not own or have their own nation state. However, remember the term state is a state of mind. The moment that we can come together under the same principle of nationality, the state can be born. So you got all of these people, Cannon Bays and all of these people, the Moorish government, all of this phony stuff. I said it. The state or nation state can only be built when the people come together, not the other way around. You don't build the nation state with 5 straggling people and then calling it a nation, or you got 20 or 30 or people subscribe to you on YouTube or Facebook and call that a government. You bring the people together first under nationality. So the Prophet Noble Drew Ali said, we're teaching our people their nationality and divine creed. Divine creed, we come from God. We come from the essence of it all. In the most purest form of our being, looks like this in the physical. Looks like that. And if you want to call it black, it's fine with me, but I just want to teach you on nationality. That's not a nationality. Nationality affords the state jurisdiction over a person and affords the person protection of the state. So therefore, when a person joins the Moorish Science Temple of America, it should be consistent with a nation state. It should be a body politic. Let me talk to the people real quick. Oh yeah, I'm doing good on time. I'm doing good on time. Let me talk to the people. When a person joins the Moorish Science Temple of America, it should be like joining a nation state. Yes, it is a religious organization that metamorphoses into a nation state, i.e., body politic. But see, our religion is not like the religion that you're used to. Our religion encompasses politics. Our religion encompasses economics. Our religion encompasses spirituality. Our religion encompasses culture. Our religion encompasses mathematics and sciences. Our religion encompasses the 360 degrees of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Our religion encompasses which we want to try to create our own car, our own plane. Our religion is not the religion that you're used to. This is not your grandfather, Moorish Science Temple of America, when you're talking to Tahaka Bey, Grand Sheikh and Chairman of the Noble Temples of the Moorish Science Temple of America. You follow what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is when people start talking about religion, they going by what they have heard, seen, or learned off the internet, or they've experienced at home. That's all they're going by. So they went to a Moorish Science Temple of America and they seen somebody singing. Oh man, I'm not with that Moor stuff. They like Christians. Let me tell you something. That is only a facet of Islamism, of religion. That's one morsel. A true Moorish American is about economic development. A true leader of Moors is about advancing the arts, whether it be hip hop, whether it be any type of R&B music, those are the arts, whether it be painting. The Prophet Noble Drew Ali, he didn't come doing the things that you see these Moors doing in the temple today. I am the bearer of bad news. What you have witnessed is not what the prophet brought to the people. And that's why people are running from the Moorish Science Temple of America instead of running to the Moorish Science Temple of America. But we live and well today. Brother Tahaka Bay is alive and well today. And so we want to advance the arts. We want to advance the culture. We want to create our own clothing line that's not a fashion symbol as it relates to pop culture, but a clothing line that is applicable for the affordability of our people. We need to raise funds. This is what the Moorish Science Temple of America, Noble Temples, is building for. We want to affect the politics that govern our people. So while people are saying that they black power and we African, why won't they, as my brother Moreno Bay said today on his show, ask them to go back to Africa and see what they tell you. They're not going back. They too spoiled. They so spoiled that they won't even do nothing for themselves. They so spoiled that they won't even sacrifice to build something for themselves. They rather go to the grocery store with no plan to build their own grocery store, but yelling black power. And then they say, buy black. And the person that you buy black from, he goes to buy blunts. That's not economic building. That's not community building. That's not nation building. Just because you buy something from somebody who said he's representing selling black. That's not that. In order for economics to work for a group of people, they must be organized and have the same goal in mind. So the guy that's selling the fresh t-shirts, that don't mean he got the same goal as the guy that's selling the tennis shoes. The guy that's selling the book, it don't mean he got the same goal as the guy that's selling the incense. But with a nation, nation queen said, I want separation first. You're free to separate, sister. What you waiting for? What you waiting for? You say you want separation, then separate. You can get a passport and matter of fact, what they call in the United States, you can actually expatriate and separate yourself. Or you can unite with your people and come up with a unique ideal and plan to get you to the next level so your children won't be taught in a European dominated society called public school. You can do that. So in the Moorish Science Temple of America, under my leadership, the people under my voice, we got plans to teach our own children. We got, man, listen, and it's on the ground. But the point of the matter is, this is what nationality all about. People say, well, the Jews do this, the Jews do that. See, for y'all to get off our land. See, now, listen. Listen, family, at the end of the day, until we decide to come together and understand the agenda as a group of people, until we decide to come together and understand the agenda as a group of people, we will get nowhere. Let me give you my agenda. I'm not trying to sell you nothing, but let me tell you how crazy this is. I got this shirt on right here because I got tired of going with GoFundMe's and all of this stuff. So I said, let's find a way that we can create a shirt, you know what I mean? Inexpensive shirt, $12.99, a good shirt. You get a shirt for $12.99. You can't find no shirt for $12.99. So I say, support the cause. What we doing in here in Baltimore, we building what is called the Moorish Village. Now, the Moorish Village is for everybody. It's not for those who are of the Moorish Science Temple of America. That will be foolish. It's for all of our people to come together with an economic plan to take us to the next level, with a political plan to take us to the next level within the next 18 months. So This shirt sells for $12.99. The link is in the chat. The link is in the comment section. Boom. This money takes to go ahead and get the first building up and running. Already paid for the building. I'm already working on it. Still need some supplies to get it up and running. Now, what's the point of this? Once the building is up and running, that building becomes the central location as we move towards the goal. And what's the goal? Create the prototype as taught by Prophet Noble Drew Ali, the grocery store, the political, the finance. We need finance. And then we do it here in Baltimore, and then every city throughout the United States be able to duplicate it. No different than what they do with Chinatown. No different than what they do with Little Italy. No different. There is no difference. We must do the same thing. And until we realize that, we must compete. Or like Nation Queen says, she wants separation, she can go. But if we're going to be here, we must compete. If we're going to be in the UK and our communities, we must compete. And the only way that we'll be able to compete, we must come together under one common principle. The first is love, and then the rules have to be laid out for the agenda. Where are we going? Where are we going? What's the plan? So the question becomes, Grand Sheik, what's your 12-month plan? Like, check this out. You walk into a Moorish Science Temple of America, one of the first things they're going to get mad at me now. You walk into a Moorish Science Temple of America, one of the first questions you should ask, that's right, what is your 12-month plan? Because before I joined, I know that nobody can change a man's descent nature or a woman's descent nature from being Moor. So I'm Moor without joining the Moorish Science Temple of America, but I desire to become a Moorish American and be a part and parcel of this said government. But now, hey Sheik, what is your 12-month plan? Huh? Next thing you want to say, okay, that's a little ambiguous. What is your educational plan? What is your economic plan? What is your political agenda? Sheik Temple 205 of the Moorish Science Temple of America. What is your political agenda? If they cannot explain you their political agenda, then you automatically know you're wasting your time. You automatically know that you're wasting your time. You may get some spirituality. You may get a bunch of accomplishments. Little. But if there is no plan, in the words of Sharif Anil Bey, saying to Dr. Reggie, but what's your plan? Dr. Reggie said, it's on the internet. He said, no, but we're right here. What's your plan, brother? We need to know the plan. What's the agenda? You follow me? What's the agenda? So, getting back to the slides real quick. I'm doing good on time so far. Let's get back to the slides. So, let's look at the term black real quick. First of all, black scientifically, the science of black is not a color. Scientifically. The correspondence of a color to specific wavelength is called spectral color. White and black are excluded from this definition because they do not have specific wavelengths. White is not defined as a color because it's the sum of all colors. Black is not defined as a color because it is the absence of light, and therefore color. In the visual art world, white and black may sometimes be defined as distinct colors. This is different from the concept of spectral color in physics. You follow me? You follow me? Are y'all with me? So when people are defining themselves, they don't even know how they're defining themselves. And then we got these hoteppers. They want to say, oh, Asar. His name literally translates as the Lord of the perfect black. In this picture, he's green. Oh, Asar. His name means the Lord of the perfect black. Well, the science of being black. In this context, one thing that you must learn from context, from the Moorish science temple of America, is context. In context, you understand that Asar, not Osiris, Osiris, my bad. I like to use Asar because Asar is his name. Asar was the ancient Egyptian god of the dead, the underworld. He was the undertaker. So as we say, black according to science means death. The science of Asar is he worked with the dead. And that's why he's depicted as green. And he's depicted as being black. And he's depicted as being black because he was the undertaker. And then the Prophet Noble Ali teaches that black according to science means death. This is our science. But now, in the same respect that this is our science, the European takes our science and he says that if you are black, then you are defining yourself by the definition in which we have put on black, and it takes you out the respect of your nationality, i.e., your nation, your forefathers. So now in America and around the world, if you call yourself black, it becomes a distinguishing mark that separates you from the people that you come from. And it puts you in a space of an outlaw as it relates to identification universally. Everybody on the face of the earth has a nationality. You are not black. Black can never be a nationality. This is why they went from Negro, black, colored. These things could never be a nationality. So what is your nationality? And are you willing to say, Brother Tahakabe, I get what you're saying. How can I move forward? Because I believe that we can build something great within the next few years as it relates to us moving on a plan as laid out by the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. But I don't know that plan. I hear you talking and hinting to it. Back to the point. So you see depictions of Nut, the mother of Asar, his sister wife, Gab, his sister and wife, Gab, his sister wife, Gab. Don't go for the European foolishness. My wife is my sister. And now when we look at the term Kemet, when When we look at the term Kemet, when people want to tell you that it's the land of the black people, that is a lie. It's a lie. Kemet means black land. Why? Because the fertile land in Kemet has black soil. The dark soil, the fertile soil, black land. There's the glyph. So Jabari may want to fool you and convince you that Kemet mean black people. No, it don't. And just because he know a little bit of hieroglyphics and a little bit of glyph, Shaka Atmos got the ponytail in his head, just because he got the ponytail, don't mean that he know everything he's talking about. They want to try to prove that you black people, and they want to prove it and get paid by those who pay them to keep you confused. The Kemet means black land. There is the glyph. There is the glyph. It doesn't mean land of black people. It has nothing to do with people. And I'm going to leave it up there for a second. There is the glyph right there. It's relating to the land. The black soil is the most fertile soil. There's a picture of the soil. Don't believe these agents, these so-called today Kemites, these so-called saying that they are for black power, but they have no unity plan. They have no agenda. They have nothing but commentary for YouTube. Commentary for YouTube. It's the soil. They have no plan, but they have a bunch of commentary for YouTube. That's what they have. Nobody on this continent right here. They were tribal people. Nobody on this continent right here was calling themselves black before the European came. Nobody. Nobody. Even when people say the term Moor means black. No. This European came and understood that these was the Moorish people right here where you see Morocco at. And he took the term Moor and said it means black. No, it's not the case. The tribal people over here, our people, they wasn't calling themselves black before the coming of the European. What were those people? What were their tribal names? What were their nation names? What were their bloodline? What was the bloodline of these people? Bloodline of these people was the same people from northwest and southwestern shores of Africa. That was the bloodline of these people. So family, at the end of the day, at the end of the day, we don't demonize the term black. Shout out to one of our ministers, Brother S. Marshall. He says, death and soil connect the dots from which all things grow. So yeah, black according to science does means death. But the Prophet Obadiah Ali teaches that out of death is the resurrection. So life comes out of death. Life, but you got to understand the science of what is being spoken. It's what is being spoken. And as my brother Abraham Bay said, you know what I mean? Black and white is a casting system. That's right. And if you fall within the casting system, you become a victim of that casting system. And you never get to understand who you are. So black, everything, we got to understand this. Everything has dualities. Everything has dualities. There is in the term black, in the term black some great significance. There is in the term black some great importance. Some great importance. However, the term black does not define who you are as a people. That's the point. Nor does white define what a European is as people. That's the point. Mexicans are not brown. Chinese people are not yellow. Indians, quote unquote, are not red. And of course, you are not black. And Europeans are not white. I want y'all to say it with me. Chinese people are not yellow. They're from China. They're Chinese. They have an illustrious history with Genghis Khan and the likes. People from India are not red-skinned people, and the natives of this country that was of light olive complexions, they are not red-skinned. They're not red people. No. They have tribal names. They have nation names. Europeans are not white people. It don't work like that. It don't work like that. Europeans are from Europe. They're either from France, Poland, Spain, Italy. You follow me? And you are not a black person. The science of being black is that black does not describe you as a person. That's a fact. Black does not describe you as a person, nor does it. It actually blacks out your illustrious history. So, last but not least, before I close out, last but not least, family, at the end of the day, we are going to have to come together, whether we like it or not. And one of the things that is going to bring us together, it's going to have to bring a good number of us together. It's going to be a nationality, and that good number of people are going to have the agenda, and they're going to have to be successful, and then everybody else will come on with it. I understand. Right now, you walk into the Moorish Science Temple of America, and you're like, what? What do you have? I get it. But me, I'm seeking the builders. If you're not a builder, then you can come later and reap the fruits from the build. I don't mind. But right now, we need the builders. I ask the builders to join me. After the builders to hold steadfast as we unfold this plan of Prophet Noble Drew Ali. So I'm asking for the builders. For those who can't join me physically, hey, it's a PayPal button on here somewhere. I guarantee you I'm going to get a bucket of paint. I guarantee you we're going to try to get another building in the Moorish village. I guarantee you that. I ain't asking for no $1 million. Hey, I'm going to work hard so I can get something done. But now, let's go back to the original question. Is black power the answer to white power? Let me show you for a second how white power works. All right? And you tell me if black power can get with this. Right here, what you're looking at, right? It says, right here, lawyer accused of flashing white power hand gesture during Kavanaugh hearing. Now check this out. These are your politicians of today, right? These are your people. They ain't mine, they yours. But now watch how they move. And y'all laugh at Dolo. It said claims that OK gesture, in fact, is a white power signal. May have started as an online troll, but they have periodically swept social media. Let's check it out.
So, several senators have brought up about the 6% and the 99% and things like that. Also, several senators have brought up about the 6% and the 99% and things like that I thought I ought to clear up, because I could say myself that when I first started finding out how much paper Judge Kavanaugh had on his record, I mean, for his background, I started talking about 1,000,000 pages. And then when we finally get 488,000, then I could say, well, I got about 48% of what we ought to have.
So, family, this is white power in practice. They got suits on, the European in the back, she got the dress on. This is white power in practice. But now, just for the sake of this conversation real quick, let's just type in white power and signal. Let's see what we get. Images. There you go. Let's see what we get. Let's see what we get. See, they didn't upgrade it. Y'all are sitting up there bumping your fists in the air, screaming black power, where the people that creates the conditions that we are in are demonstrating white power. Can black power, I'm telling you, can black power be the answer to white power? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Because black power only exists on Saneter TV and the likes. And that's my brother. I'm trying to bring him home. That's what you see. And they even got her right there. Got all your people there. All your people there. All your people there. Can it be? Can it be? Is all of this fake? Is all of this fake? Even Obama, is all of this fake? Is all of it fake? Should we consider it? Should we consider it? Is black power the answer to white power? What is black power? Well, white power is those who create the conditions that we find ourselves in. What do black power create? Family, it's time to wake up, man. It's time to wake up. It's time to wake up. Feel me? It's time to wake up. Shout out to my brother, the Gas. It's time to wake up. They have upgraded. The European have upgraded to the way that he talked with his hands. And we are still yelling around, running around, yelling black power. And the European has upgraded. They are still in the offices that makes the decisions. They are still in the offices that controls your education. They are still in the offices that control your food. They are still in the offices that control your power. Electricity, that is. What power do you really have? Your power is in your unity. And your unity must be centralized. Hence, nationality. Your unity must be centralized, and the power of the unit must move forward. This is what the Moorish Science Temple of America is all about. This is what he's all about. The Prophet Noble Drew Ali, this is what it's all about. It's not that stuff you see on YouTube. It's not that rah-rah that you hear. It's centralizing your power to take back what was lost, reclaim what was lost. It is what it is. It is what it is. So, last but not least, I got a few more slides. Last but not least, when you're speaking about true power, you're speaking about things like this. And the term says blacks elected in Mississippi. In March 1867, Congress passed the Reconstruction Act, opened the era of congressional reconstruction. The act divided the South into 5 military districts, disenfranchised large numbers of quote-unquote white Southerners. The result was black voting majority in 5 Southern states. This soon led to the election of numerous blacks, quote-unquote, to the high political office, as shown in this photo. Montague from Mississippi. Amongst the distinguished lawyers and politicians depicted here are Blanche K. Bruce and Harold Revels at the left or the right of the old Capitol building. Both men was elected into the U.S. Senate, while their colleague John R. Lynch, located below, Bruce in the picture, served in the U.S. House of Representatives, one of the 20 quote-unquote African Americans to be elected during that time. Family, when are we going to get this distinguishing things before? There go Harold Rose Revels right there. When are we going to go back and take our power back? When are we? See, that's what happened. After the Reconstruction, that's Charles E. Hodges. He's from Maryland. That's his family right there. After the Reconstruction, they was killing us to prevent us from voting. They was killing us, hanging us to prevent us from running. Because these brothers right here, although they used the term Negro and used the term black, they were mover and shakers. They had a plan. They had an agenda. But when the European found out that we was using the system to take back our land, to take back our independence, to take back our liberty, the European played some game. But we have to look at this history. We have to examine this history. And we must locally organize for this strategy right here. It will give you too much more. But we must locally organize for this strategy right here. Nobody wants to believe in the system. The reason why nobody wants to believe in the system is because the system has been corrupt for so long. However, what the Prophet Noble Drew Ali did, he had 3,000 Moors to move in one direction. And after the killing of our people that was holding these office, Prophet Noble Drew Ali was a part of the first group to put an Asiatic in office, to put a so-called black person in office. Why do we need people in office? We need the office to be ours. Do we want to ask for the check or do we want to write the check? Do we want to be at the table or, as Brother Sharif say, on the table? Family, if you say you ain't going nowhere, then it's time to unite. If you say you're not leaving this country, your little paperwork that you filing saying this is your land, it ain't gonna cut it. Your little yelling across the internet that we are in our Morocco and this is Morocco ain't gonna cut it. It's not gonna cut it. What's gonna cut it is the same thing that cut it for everybody else who was oppressed and wanted to overcome. To overcome, they must come together and they must move on an agenda. And we in the Moorish Science Temple of America, Noble Temples, we moving on the divine plan of the ages as taught by the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. And if you can't get the true answer of what the divine plan of the ages from your Grand Sheikh or divine minister, specifically the plan, every plan has a table of contents. Every plan has a step A to step Z. If you can't get the divine plan of the ages from your divine minister or your Grand Sheikh of the Moorish Science Temple of America, hey, Houston, we have a problem. And that's just what it is. Honest to all of the people of the Moorish Science Temple of America, my family. But I tell you what again, if you cannot get a step-by-step plan from your Grand Sheikh or your divine minister, probably they don't have one. And probably they don't understand the divine plan of the ages. Maybe they just quoting it. Come to Noble Temples. Like Suge Knight said, come to Death Row. Come talk to your brother Tahaka Bay. Peace and love, family. I appreciate y'all. It's 11 o'clock at the hour. That's my time. I appreciate to see y'all again. I hope y'all can share this, thumbs up this, so y'all can teach this to the people. If you have any questions, be sure to put them in the chat. If they are derogatory or antagonizing nature, I will delete them immediately. I check them all the time. If it's something of a learning nature, you are welcome to drop it in there, and I will try to answer. If you want to be combative, I would even welcome you on the show to go toe-to-toe. It doesn't matter. You know, I know you're not black. You know you're not black. You know what I mean? I know this. You know this. But if you want to dance, as my brother say, teachers dancing all at the rostrum, come to the Most Out America. That's right. Now, I like that. Raphael, that's right. Be more. Be more ill. How you doing, my brother? I definitely miss you, brother. Brother, please, let me put my what's name in there. How's the Mobitus, brother? How's the baby, brother? I haven't talked to you in quite some time. Anybody want to email me, you can email me at tahakabay@yahoo.com. Right here. I won't be, family, and I'm going to tell you right now, I will not be in Chicago this year at the National Convention. And the reason why I will not be in Chicago this year at the National Convention is because all the finance that I have, if you want to call it extra, I'm putting into the Moorish Village. I'm trying to make sure by this time next year that we have a school that teach our own children, a daycare that teaches our own children. So in order to do that, I must continue the building that I've started a few months ago on this building. I must complete this building, and I must use my resources wisely. Because, as you know, we don't get a lot of donations when you're doing this work to uplift our people. Reverend John Henry Clark passed away with nothing. All of our leaders passed away with nothing. So therefore, this year, my Hajj is to the building of what will be the Moorish Village. First location. And as more people join the Moorish Science Temple of America, Noble Temples, we will have other locations around the country. But my Hajj, my pilgrimage, is to the most center point of the necessity of what we need as a people. And that is a central location for our economic, spiritual, social, political development. we need a central location. Therefore, my efforts this year, my pilgrimage this year, will be focused on building the Moorish village or completing one of the first steps. I will be going live on Facebook every day. Honor to my assistant Grand Sheik, my brother, my friend, Akhenaten Salam Bey, for the guidance that the brother give me, the inspiration that the brother give me. So they say next year when you go to Chicago, absolutely, family. Next year we gonna be in Chicago in a big way. The Noble Temple's going to be in Chicago, and we're going to take a tour of every landmark location where the Prophet taught Islamism. We're going to visit every grand body of the Moorish Science Temple of America. We're going to visit Braswell Bay as I do every year. We're going to visit Brother Jones Bay as I do every year. We're definitely going to visit our brother, our friend, and the one that we give high honor to, Brother D. Belial. We're going to visit every grand body. We're going to visit Tyrone Bay, also known as Kenyu Bay. We're going to also visit my brother C.J. Shaw L. and my brother Selby Bay. We're going to visit our brother Arnell Bay if he's in town that day. We're going to make our trip. We're going to make our rounds. But this year is the sacrificial year that we build on the ground. So when we leave something for our people, our children. We leave a school. We leave a political agenda. Be more L. Email me, brother, and you'll be on the list. We're going to have a tour bus and everything. And I am going to be giving a presentation on the historical account of what the prophet did at every location. Brother, I got the history, and you should have it too, brother. But I will give a little more. We will go to State Street and show where the prophet stood on a milk crate. Yeah. The landscape might be a little different. We will go to Indiana Avenue. We will go to Wabash Avenue. Yeah. I know some other people might try to copycat this, but it's okay. We're going to go to all the locations where the prophet went, and I'm going to give a presentation. So I encourage everybody who's interested in the real history of the Moorish Science Temple of America, whether you are a Moorish American proclaimed or not, save up a few dollars for a 5-day hotel stay. And I will give everybody a history class. We will go to the mounds in Chicago. Yeah, they got mounds in Chicago, pyramids they call them. We will go to the prophet's burial site. We will hit all the locations of Chicago. So family, next year will be big. Make no mistake about it. And we have some bigger announcements for next year also. So to answer your question, will I go next year? You absolutely sure I will be next year. And inshallah, I will be coming with over 30 to 40 or 50 people to see the history in living color. And that's just what it is. Shout out to all the family. I appreciate y'all. I'm up out there. Peace and love. And you know how we do. I'm going to see y'all next time. Next go around on Moorish World TV. Peace and love, family. Gotta go. Gotta go.